Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the 7 Days to Die Survival Guide by myself, Mr. Dan I Am. Today's episode we're going to be talking about clothing and armour. So that's super fun subject, clothing and armour, that we all love. Oh yes. Now clothing in the game is quite, it's a pretty big deal really. Various different biomes in the game have various different effects on the character. Some produce a lot of heat, some are very cold. So you need clothing to keep yourself warm, or then again, some items clothing to keep yourself cool. Obviously, the main purpose of the clothing is to defend yourself, really, as body armor. Now on this screen here, this is the character screen. So basically, you're looking at myself, what my character is wearing currently. We can see he's got various items of clothing on. So basically the concussive stat, as you can see, 5%, this indicates, the resistance to concussive blows, so basically zombies trying to attack you. Puncture resistance, so from bladed weapons, which will only really be in player versus player. Radiation resistance, which is only worthwhile if you're going into the radiated area, which you're going to really need a hazmat suit to do. And also the fire resistance of a particular item of clothing, which can come in pretty handy because there are zombies out there which can set you on fire, which is not very exciting and a bit mean of those. Also get the insulation, so what it does for your body temperature. So this hat, for instance, reduces my body temperature by 10 degrees Fahrenheit, which is handy in hot areas and not so good in cold areas. And also its waterproof ratings, keeping me dry. When you get wet in the game, you will slowly lose core temperature, lose body temperature, which can cause you once you get very low temperature, you will start being very slow and you will not be able to run any longer. So it's important you maintain your core temperature at a good level. The same goes for if your core temperature gets too hot, again, you will not be able to run very quick or move very fast at all. Now all these pieces here, so we've got plant fibre shirt, gloves, plant fibre pants, and plant fibre shoes. These are the most basic items of clothing that you can make, and they're pretty handy just to be able to make very quick and early in the game. Once you get a few more items of clothing, you can make these slightly better items. So cloth chest armour, if we compare that to the fibre, you can see the stats are greatly improved on the chest armour. Now each set of clothing comes in pieces of 5 basically, so you have your head armour, your chest, gloves, leg and boots. And so they assemble the 5 different pieces that you can wear for each set. So there's 5 pieces of plant fibre, 5 pieces of animal hide, 5 pieces of cloth, leather, scrap iron and normal iron armour, which I haven't got yet at this point in the game, but at some point I will, and I'll show you all that when I get there. Now we're just going to put on a full set here, so first of all for the full cloth head armour, let's just put that on. And you can see it's changed what my character is wearing here. Now we put the chest armour, and the gloves, and the leg armour, and the boots. Okay, so now my character is got all the various pieces on for the entire cloth set. Now his stats aren't too bad at the moment, so 17% concussive resistance, puncture resistance, fire, radiation, plus 10 degrees Fahrenheit for his temperature, which isn't overly hot, so that's not so bad, and 60% water resistance. So he's pretty good at the moment. You can see his feels like temperature is now rising because I'm wearing a lot of clothes, and again my insulation has increased quite dramatically. And again with these we can actually put the puff coat on over the top, so this is over the top of everything. So now my water resistance is 110%, so I won't get wet at all, so not lose temperature because of that. And my temperature will go through the roof because of this basically, so I will start to overheat. But for the purposes of this, that's nothing too much to worry about. Now I can put these on as well. So now I have the armour on as well as the trousers. And I can also put this sweatshirt on. So now you can see every single item of clothing I could possibly wear is now in place. And these are my full stats now. So plus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you can see my feels like temperature is really increasing, so my character will start to get very hot and will start making sounds at me like he wants to give up and can't go on anymore, basically. and quite resistant to damage types. Obviously once you've got the iron armour and things like that, you'll become even more resistant, and you will not really be able to take much damage at all apart from big attacks on you, so you'll be very resistant to it. But again, that comes later in the game once you're able to craft mainly iron and have lots of iron readily available and read the schematics. One of the most important things in this game is reading the schematics for the weapons and things that you can find and the armour that you can find. In terms of the headgear, great things to find are things like the miner's hat and the football helmet. They are really good for concussive resistance and can stop you getting stunned by zombies, because you can really help in a tight spot, so you can continue to run and escape from the impending doom of a zombie massacre. You can increase your skills in constructing armour and clothing, your armour smithing for instance. But also things like the heavy armour, so allow you to craft and build really strong items of clothing, iron items of clothing, which is really handy. Leatherworking, these stats will increase as you make items of this type, but it's increased slowly. If you have points available from going up levels, these can be pretty handy things to actually increase. You will need to do leather tanning to be able to make your own leather, unless you can find a recipe book, in which case that's pretty handy. Light armour as well. Now if you can increase these stats, you'll be able to craft some extremely good and extremely well defensive items of clothing to keep your character going even in the toughest situations, and be able to fight off all those pesky zombies trying to get at you and your lovely loot that you have crafted and found over your period in the game. Now that's episode 4 done, all about clothing. Again, please feel free to check out my other episodes. This is episode 4, so we have done a few more by now. And, by all means, check out my other videos as well. There's lots more series available, and also my proper 7 Days to Die playthrough. If you want to check that out, that is really good fun, and we do some pretty insane things on that, so by all means check that out. Got plenty more episodes to come with this series, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Peace out. Oh!
You paying attention?
I'm paying attention now.
Don't pass that on.
No. How many things is it taking off?